Well, I feel like a freed man right now.
Why not? How?
Because I was just imprisoned in my own fucking garage.
Okay, so do you have a garage that like goes up like, and then you...
It doesn't go up. It like shifts from side to side.
Okay.
And anyways, the garage mechanism wasn't working. I have a clicker that didn't work. And then there's we have a laundry room inside of our like garage facilities. And there's like an automatic like turner for the gate. Went in there, shifted it, didn't work. Called my landlord my property manager. I'm like, the gate's not working. I've gone to enough therapy to like have the wherewithal to say what is in my control right now. I can't fix this gate.
Yeah, but you got to get out.
But I got to get out.
Yeah.
I got to live my life outside of the parameters of this apartment that I already paid $2,200 for a 1-bedroom to fund his life in the valley where he owns a home, right?
Yes.
So I'm like, what are you doing for me?
Oh, so he's in the valley. He can't even get there.
He can't even get there. So I know that. I'm like, so you're paying for my Uber because I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
To which he responds, well, actually, I can send a technician over, but...
Bro, I got places to be.
Hung up right away. Was like, that's not what I wanted to hear. Whatever. Back out, call you. Because I don't love being late. Like, I don't want that to be a part of my personality.
Right.
Like, that. It's such an unsexy trait.
Yeah.
And today, I was like... prepared to be here on time.
Yeah.
So that's what was really fucking with me.
Yeah.
Anyways, he texts me afterwards and is like, the gate is in fact broken. You just have to pull it open. I'm like, okay, so it's a manual gate now. Awesome. I mean, better than having to be stuck in an Uber. I will be able to drive myself out of here.
Okay.
But then he proceeds to call me 6 times on my 30-minute ride here. If you see me in Los Angeles with a steak walking around Hollywood Boulevard with a man's head on top of it, know that that man's head is my property manager and I'm showing off my prize.
Why was he calling you? To say what?
I have no idea, but he has called me multiple times to like solve issues at this apartment complex. And I'm like, bro, you need to live in West Hollywood to be the property manager at this complex.
Yeah.
Because you can't get here to manage any problems.
And you've had some problems because like recently someone's shit flooded above you and your wall was like bubbling.
That. And then this week alone, I spent $500 to have my lock drilled through because I got locked out of my apartment because I have keyless entry.
Oh,
and it's supposed to alert me when the batteries are low.
Yes.
Didn't alert me. I don't have a physical key. I call him up again. It's like 9 p.m. I had just finished a Barry's class. He didn't answer me, so I text him, do you have the key I provided you? He goes, I'm not sure if this key will work. And I'm like...
and I live in the valley anyway.
And I'm like, okay, so what am I supposed to do? He's like, call a locksmith. I'm like, awesome, will do. I was like, what are you about to charge me? They say $150. They come there. They're like, actually, you have this type of lock. It's $260. Then they're fiddling with it. They're like, yeah, we're going to have to drill through it. So then they drill through my door. Right now in West Hollywood, you can just walk into my apartment. There is no lock. It's just an open hole.
Oh, no.
It's just
open hole.
It's an open hole because they wanted to charge me another additional $100 to like replace the system with just like a regular lock. And I was like, no, I'm gonna get another keyless entry. I didn't learn my lesson, I guess, but I will now have the key on hand in case this ever happens.
So we have one of these on our bedroom.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it came with the house. We have one of these in our bedroom. The people we bought from, the guy was a cop. So there's a lot of weird lock things going on.
Interesting. I wonder if he had a gun in his bedroom.
Well, he probably did. And we have our coat closet downstairs also has keyless entry. So I bet you he had guns in there.
It's also giving Dateline. Like these, well, the moms are like the crazy people who like lock their kids in.
Oh, and our coat closet is like under our stairs. So you can definitely put a kid in there.
That's giving Harry Potter for
That's
real.
giving Harry Potter. But ours didn't tell us that the battery was dying either. We rarely lock that door. If you lock it from the inside and you don't manually unlock it, you can twist the handle and it will open from the inside, but it doesn't unlock. So if you close the door, it's still locked from the outside. Anyway, it died. We were locked out. We had no idea where the key was. We have like random keys that they left us. We tried all of them. None of them worked. We had to call a locksmith. Moral of the story was, it is really, really expensive, but children, if you're looking for a trade to go into, locksmith is the answer. They make money.
I got scammed. I don't need to do all the math, but I got scammed. And you want to know what? I said to him right then and there when he started drilling, I said, I don't care what I need to pay, because when you want to get into your fucking home, you're going to pay whatever you need to pay to get inside when a candle's burning.
And he's like, cha-ching. Yeah.
Also, you haven't seen The Housemaid, so you won't understand this reference, but like, a bitch should never be without her key. So just let's all remember that.
Well, now I have several keys hidden around my house for that door, like in case I'm like in the garage. And if
that's the lesson I learned. There will be a spare key in my car. There will be a key on my fob. There will be keys in many places, including multiple keys given back to my property manager, so I can never hear, I'm not sure if it's going to work.
I feel like you could sue him. Like, what do you mean I don't know if it's going to work?
I don't even have the time or energy to be suing motherfuckers out here, but what I do have the time for is Zillow is opened and new apartments are being entertained. Yeah. But you have your own neighborhood drama right now, right?
I do. So, I live out in the burbs, and I live in a particular suburb that is particularly right-wing. The school systems are great, except for I'm sure my kids are getting called slurs behind their backs.
That's so terrible.
But I get added to a group text between my next door neighbor to the right, my next door neighbor to the left, and then her next door neighbor.
How do you feel about a group text in general? Because I'm like, if I'm getting added to one, it's a do not disturb. I'm not allowing notifications.
You're muting.
I'm muting immediately.
I don't love it, but I am always on do not disturb. So
you're always on do not. If I called Candace once and it went through, it's a miracle. So I always have to double call to get through.
Yeah, I'm always on do not disturb. So when I see that it's like a name I know, a name I know, and a phone number that I don't know, and then it's like they're talking nonsense. They're like, there was screaming last night, and be careful of thieves. I don't even know what's going on. So then I have to tap in, and I'm like, first of all, hello, who is this phone number? What happened? And then I come to find out that what happened is that my elderly neighbor on the right, who in November lost his wife, who Ruby was a gem, literal gem, to the neighborhood. She was a gossipy Filipino woman who knew what everything was going on in the neighborhood, everyone's business. She was the sole neighborhood watch person. Nothing was getting past her. She had been struggling with various cancers for a few years, and she died at the top of November. And then he had to put his dog down. And the way we found out he had to put his dog down is that my husband was going over to him and he was like, I know that now Ruby's dead, like you have all these cars. Would you be willing to sell one of your Priuses to us? And the answer was, can we talk about this another time? I had to put Taz down today.
Your husband's coming over there like the Grim Reaper for the card. Meanwhile, you're finding out that pups are in the ground.
And my husband feels horrible, obviously. And then we come to find out through this group text that the poor man has had his catalytic converter stolen from one of his two Priuses, because from the Prius, I've had my Prius catalytic converter stolen because it's easy to get to them. All that to say, people are like, can you check your cameras? So we got a good shot of the side of the car and the front of the car. We can tell that it's either a Dodge or Camaro, but maybe we can get a license plate if you check your cameras.
Now you're living the real life weapons storyline. Everybody check their Ring cameras. Where did all the kids go?
Exactly. Well, I purposely do not have Ring cameras, Ring branded cameras. The only reason we have cameras is because they came with the house.
So the only reason I can be here today with peace of mind knowing that I have no lock on my door is because I have a camera.
Okay. So now other people have been added to the group text. Everyone on the street, including my QAnon neighbors, my QAnon Trump voting neighbors. And I'm just like...
So it's like Mean World syndrome in a group chat. They're all living in fear of suburbia and drudging up this drama and probably like igniting flames to
the fear mongering is on 10, and mean world syndrome is like a real thing. So I don't know if you know this. You probably learned about this in college, maybe.
I don't know where I learned about mean world syndrome. You want to know what it was? It was from a friend who learned it in college.
Okay. Mean world syndrome is a theory that was developed by this guy named George Gerbner, who I studied in grad school. Like all the theories that I based my master's thesis on were created by George Gerbner. But it's a theory that came out of television, like the advent of television.
Yeah, the 24-hour news cycle.
Well, it's violent television specifically. And so movies that are violent, news that is violent, whatever, and people starting to believe that because they're seeing more and more violence on TV, that there must be more and more violence in their own lives, like their neighbors, whatever. And this is truly happening in my neighborhood. So people, literally, my neighbor said, well, if they can steal a catalytic converter and get away with it, the logical next step is that they're breaking into your homes and we're having home invasions. Home invasions. And I'm just like, people, we literally live in the 8th safest city in the country. In the country.
Really? Santa Clarita's the
8th safest city. And the only reason we're not lower on the list, closer to number 1, is because we're prone to fires.
Interesting.
Yes. I'm like, it is a city full of cops and firefighters, and it's people who fled the inner city to give their children better life. Like, get a fucking grip. But yeah, I'm just like, now I feel like I'm in the app, like the neighborhood apps, like all the neighborhood apps. What is it called? Like,
I don't go on them.
Yeah.
The people who I know who are on those in like Los Angeles, like I just can't even imagine living in that type of duress of these happenings that aren't affecting you.
Well, if you go on those apps like Nextdoor or the Citizen app, it is subliminal racism. It is literally like, there's a man standing at the corner of such and such and such and such. He's black and he's wearing blah, blah, blah. Like, he's not doing anything, but keep an eye out. People can't even just live their lives. And anyway, living in the suburbs, there definitely are some benefits. Like, it's clean, it's safe. You know, when you're raising kids, like, those are things that you look for.
See, I feel safer in a city, and so does my friend, and we both come from a suburb where mean world syndrome definitely has occupied most of our parents' brains. And it's just like, we have community. You see people on the street, like, you are never alone. And in that, I feel more comfort than being like, I am in my house that's like however many yards away from the next house, and will they hear my cries at night? Like, I mean, I'm not trying to like stoke the flames of whatever's going on in your neighborhood, but like, I get the eeriness of living in a suburb sometimes.
I completely agree. And I love a city. And the problem is that the schools in LA County just are not great.
No. Public schools.
Public schools. You either have to do private or you have to do a magnet school. And a magnet school is a lottery system. And so if you have 2 kids, might have one in the school, one not in the school. If the first one gets in the school, you have a better chance. Like, they have more lottery tickets to get in the school. Anyway, all that to say, living in the suburbs is wild. And I literally just hit leave group because I don't need that shit.
Always leaving a group chat. Well, you want to know what some might consider winning the lottery?
Besides actually winning the lottery, what?
Having 2 famous parents.
Oh, for sure. Unless you're
Brooklyn Beckham. Unless you're Brooklyn Beckham, who seemingly is not happy with Miss Victoria and David.
Yeah, like he took to his little notes app and told a story.
He's a notes app warrior right now. 800 plus words.
Yes.
For public discourse.
For the people who are living under a rock, please give us a rundown of what's happening in that family.
Okay, so Brooklyn Beckham it has largely been known as being very untalented in
That is not how I would put it.
in holding his Beckham status.
I would say that he tries a lot of things.
He tries a lot of things and this is the thing about him, is if you come from two parents who are talented, does it mean that you yourself have to be talented?
Absolutely not. And I would argue that one parent is talented and the other one...
What do you mean? They're both talented. One is a renowned soccer player and the other one was a Spice Girl.
Whose singing talents were questionable.
But regardless, they were a global phenomenon.
Yes.
That had the stamina.
Yes. So I guess what I'm saying is there's a difference between talent and success. Two successful parents is what I would say.
I think that even if you just took Victoria Beckham as a model and a model alone,
Okay.
she's talented.
Okay.
I think she's gorgeous.
I think she's gorgeous too.
So I'm not going to take her accolades away from her, but I will take her spawn's desired accolades away from him.
Okay.
He's not a chef.
Okay.
He wants to be a chef.
Okay.
He has tried photography. That hasn't worked out. I just think that like someone like him, maybe his parents should have been like, the Beckham name and the Beckham name alone is like going to be your claim to fame. Go into accounting. Be a real estate agent.
But he doesn't want to be a real estate agent. He wants to be something more creative because he comes from a line of creatives.
And this is where I just think everything about him is such an eye roll about him complaining about being a part of this family and then now aligning himself with his wife, who is from a billionaire family, Nicola Peltz. And he's like, my mom doesn't like her, wah, 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 stole my dance at my wedding, wah, wah, wah. Everything about my family is about cultivating an image, wah, wah, wah. I'm like, you just wouldn't you wouldn't even have a platform to complain and have this picked up by every major outlet if it weren't for the parents that you're complaining about. And I read this think piece and I just want to read what this writer wrote about what's currently happening with the Beckham family. Quote, "The story has been widely circulated, analyzed, and debated. But beyond the celebrity intrigue, it raises a broader cultural question. What happens when discomfort is treated as hardship and inconvenience is elevated as trauma? This is not a story about war, poverty, displacement, or irreversible loss. It is a story about a couture wedding dress dispute and a familiar family conflict, circumstances that millions of families navigate privately every year without public declarations or lasting estrangement. This pattern reveals something larger than celebrity excess. It illustrates how a life insulated from consequence can distort one's sense of proportion. This is not an indictment of wealth, nor a dismissal of emotional experience. It is an observation about scale and context. There is a meaningful difference between pain rooted in survival and distress rooted in expectation."
I agree with what that said 100%, but I don't agree with your take. Like, I'm not going to say I'm Team Brooklyn, but I do think that his distress, not trauma, is rooted in being part of a family who, I believe him, probably secretly sprinkles things out to the press. Bethany Frankel said, the thing about this is that like British people like to keep their garbage on the hush hush. I'm like, no. I think that British people with money, much like the royal family,
I was just going to say,
much like the royal family, they see things to the media. But I think that this man is probably like this and probably gravitated to a woman who is very much like his mother. I think that he is a man who depended a lot on his mother, like genuflected to her. She's a strong personality, and he gravitated to a woman who is just like that. And he is now like having to pick sides. And I agree with what you wrote in that men often who have strong mothers, who have a point of view, who have an opinion, who are successful, who then gravitate to women who are the same, they feel kind of like this pull, like, do I have to choose my mother or choose my wife? My own husband had to do this with his ex-wife and his mother, two very opinionated women. And I don't feel sorry for him at all. I think that he is part of a family who inevitably was going to turn out this way. His younger brother, Cruz, is 20 years old and is dating a 30-year-old woman. And I think he gravitated to a much older woman because of who their mother is. They like a powerful woman. Their mother is a powerful woman.
Yeah, well, and I will say, clearly Cruz isn't having any problems between mama and girlfriend because they're all siding with one another. All the entirety of the Beckham clan is standing together.
Yeah.
Brooklyn is the only one on the outs.
And I'm wondering if it's because of like the enormity of Brooklyn's wife's wealth. I don't know. I don't even know if it deserves that type of dissection, but
wealth in a family's name that holds like significance or importance. I have had some close proximity with that. And I will say that, like, beware, stay far away.
Yeah. I mean, it goes back to the beginning of time where families basically like
their power is held by narrative.
And it's held by family, right? So it's like, if I'm a rich family, I'm going to steer my children to marry into another rich family, but they have to have certain attributes, right?
Think about surnames. They tell a story in and of themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that there's no winners in going against the family, as Jay-Z said. It's unfortunate that, you know, Brooklyn felt driven to do this. I just don't feel like you do this unless you feel driven to. And I think it's a question of, like, did his wife push him to do it? Did he feel pushed to do it?
Some people are speculating that she wrote it and he posted it.
I mean,
I will say the best thing to come out of it are all of the memes. Like, I love, like, Victoria doing the splits in front of them or, like, doing a high kick.
Yeah. It's really, really interesting. And I hope that we actually see, like, more of the story come out, just because it's like, it has nothing to do with us. It's just tea for us.
The tea is piping hot across the pop culture landscape right now.
Yes.
Another ongoing feud that we just can't get away from is the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively, It Ends With Us drama.
I thought this was so 2024 to 2025, but the Taylor of it all has brought it into 2026.
Well, it's not even that just the Taylor of it all. It's that the texts have now been, or all of these private texts have been
leaked or published.
Yeah. And I just believe that the world is now divided between before it ends with us and after it ends with us, because what is time otherwise other than that? And, like, the craziest thing is this movie, I have not even ever seen it, nor will I ever go and see it.
I've seen it.
You saw it?
I've seen it, and you know how I feel about Blake Lively.
But regardless if it's been seen or not, no one cares about the movie, right?
I didn't care about the movie when I watched the movie. Just to give it a little bit background, like, the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni have been in and out of court, in and out of the press.
What do you mean give it background? No one needs the background. We've literally we literally can't escape this narrative.
Well, I think that the background is the reason why that the texts have been published is because now this is a lawsuit that has its own legs, and part of a lawsuit is
everyone being deposed.
Yeah. And so this becomes public fodder.
Well, I think what was interesting on what was deposed is you're seeing conversations ensue between Taylor Swift and Blake Lively, amongst many other celebrities. But I think this is, like, the portion of the text that most people are infatuated with, because Taylor Swift is obviously Taylor Swift and has one of the biggest, if not the biggest, fan base in all of entertainment. And what you see happening between them is Blake clearly was in a rut over all of this drama. And she was constantly messaging Taylor, I think, updates about her mental health status or the status of the legalities of this ongoing situation, to which she, like, eventually apologizes and says, like, I'm sorry if I haven't been myself. I'm sorry that, like, I've been on this, in this one track space of only being able to focus on this drama, to which Taylor says something to the effect of like, I love you as a friend. I just feel like all of the texts I've been receiving are like corporate mass emails, and you're like talking about like a we or an us, and it's not about like you and me anymore. And I sympathize with both of them. I think Taylor was being a really good friend, keeping it real with her.
I agree.
And I think Blake was probably in like a state of psychosis, knowing that like this is becoming a much bigger legal issue, that everything you write or say is eventually going to be tracked.
Yeah. I just think that you can tell from the outset that right after this movie was made, you can tell that Blake Lively was in distress just from the text to Ben Affleck, the text to Matt Damon. Like, she's using this hedging language about like the quality of the film, and
she's trying to rally the troops.
Yeah. And like kind of giving them a preview of like what's going on. The Taylor Swift of it all, like you said, like I think she was being a really good friend by, saying, I love you, but, the way that you're acting has really created a distance between us. And I just want my friend back. She literally just says, come back.
And not even acting, communicating.
Look, the discovery part of a lawsuit to me is always interesting. Some people won't even do a lawsuit that they deserve to do because they know that the discovery is going to become public. And so I guess I kind of salute Blake Lively in that she's pursuing this because she feels wronged. But it's unfortunate that like the whole Justin Baldoni saga has cost her friendships,
and her career in many ways.
Yeah.
And the thing with him is he always skeeved me out because I've never strayed away from this, and it was before the scandal. I hate when a man makes his platform about feminism.
Yeah. And what was his platform before this? Because all I knew him from was
Jane the Virgin.
But
it was that he had a podcast called like Man Enough. And
Yeah.
it's like being the best men for women, and just like so performative. And I think that, I will stand by my girl, Jenny Slate. I love Jenny Slate.
Love her down.
Love her down. One of my favorite Jenny Slate moments is an interview that she had on Seth Meyers. It was years ago. And it's her talking about she was a Harvard undergrad. Like, she's incredibly intelligent, but she would get high all of the time. She like learned about marijuana on campus, and she signed up for an astronomy class. Thought it was astrology.
How smart is she? No.
And she got there and she's like, this is a lot of math. I thought we were going to like delve into like my future.
Yeah.
and they're like, no. Like there's a lab portion. And she's explaining it on Seth Meyers, and she's probably high. And she's like, they're telling me I'm going to be able to look through and she's like, you know what? I'm going to leave that on all of you. Cause she's like the kaleidoscope to see all of the colors. I just love her so much.
Yeah, I love her. I love her personality. Also, astronomy was the hardest class I've ever taken.
I dropped my astronomy class because
so
it was
hard.
I knew it was going to be too hard. If I wasn't going to get an A in my science class, which was just like fulfilling a requirement, I wasn't going to be there to challenge my fucking mind with the stars.
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
Eject, NASA, eject. No, so she wrote in her messages about Baldoni, she called him a fraud, a false ally, and the biggest clown. And I think that just sums it all up.
It sums it up. It really does. Where I stand on here is where I stand on the Brooklyn Beckham of it all. This is just tea and crumpets for us. So if it goes on, it goes on. If it dies, it dies.
The last drama that I just want to quickly surface is the Karamo Brown of it all. Have you been following
Child, Karamo is my kind of petty.
What about it did you think was petty?
That he was like, I'm not going to show up, but I'm going to send a message, a video message.
He's like, I'm protecting my health.
Yeah.
And this is my platform on the show. So essentially, Queer Eye is now in its 10th and final season.
God damn, it's been on my whole life.
Since 2018. Can I tell you, I've never watched an episode.
I've never watched an episode.
You want to know who Queer Eye is for? Straight women. I've never heard of a gay person being like, I love Queer Eye.
No.
Because it's like, to me, it always felt icky. It's like, this gay is this thing.
Yes,
this gay
exactly.
is this thing. It's like, let's put all of these gays in boxes.
Yes.
So automatically I'm like, of course this is going to create drama or rifts between them.
Yes.
Because one is
hair and manicure. One is the way you dress. One is flowers or whatever the fuck it is.
Exactly. And Karamo's is culture, whatever that means.
Put the black man in culture.
And so already that's a diabolical setup. The one who originally started with them, because it's the Fab Five.
Yeah.
They had already lost one member of the Fab Five, Bobby Burke.
Okay.
Who, I don't remember all of the drama there, but like I think that they like pushed him out.
Okay.
Anyways, he has a new show on HGTV this week. He was like, I don't know about y'all, but I have a new show, and the music on his story was "My Kink is Karma." So that's petty, and I love that. But Karamo on the press tour for this 10th and final season was like, yeah, I'm out. And we come to find out, like, I think in the last 24 hours, TMZ posted that it had to do with his mom being on set, like mic'd up or like with headphones, listening to the mics, and caught the other three like original cast members of the Fab Five, Tan, Jonathan, and Anthony, talking trash about Karamo after he had left a scene.
Yeah. You know what? And a black mom ain't gonna stand for that bullshit.
No, we saw that on His and Hers.
Wow.
So
yeah,
she ratted them out.
Good.
She ratted those motherfuckers out. And this is another thing about these shows is when they were on like CVS doing the press tour in which he issued the video message and didn't end up showing up, they're all like holding hands. And I'm just like,
again, performative.
Because I'm just like, you don't all have to be best friends.
No.
Like
your colleagues.
Even with us, like our friendship can ebb and flow,
Yeah.
right? Like we are now committed to this show. Like I'm not just saying that we're colleagues, but like this is a job.
Yeah.
Like even if we're in a fight, you just gotta show up.
Yeah.
Like if you want your bag or if you want whatever it is that you want to come of your platform.
But they're trying to come across as like a united front in friendship and loyalty, and
I'm just like, friendship is a benefit.
yes.
But
also, like, maybe don't act like that when it's you three who have been accused of talking shit about this man.
And then they use, which is such a toxic term in any workplace, that we're family.
Yeah, I hate it. We're not a family.
We're not a family.
We don't have the same last name. We ain't got the same mama nor daddy, nor siblings. My earliest memory of Karamo, and it's like the one thing, since I don't do the Queer Eye, it's the one thing that sticks in my head about Karamo. When he was on The Real World, he was very clear that he doesn't like, they didn't have the word twink back then. He might have used the F word actually, but he was like, I like homo thugs. I like homo thugs.
I've never heard that term. I wish I hadn't. Well, speaking of the gays, this weekend, I guess it was this long weekend, this past MLK, Sunday going into Monday night, I ended up getting hit up on Grindr at like 2 a.m. and I was told to come over this guy's house. He was 6'7". It was like, say less. Say less, I'll be there. 6'7" with a mustache, loved him. But he was like, yeah, there's going to be a few other guys in the mix. And I'm like, cool, whatever. Like, I'm down for that. Get there. There are other guys in the mix, but they're all doing drugs. And
what kind of drugs?
K and Coke and poppers, if you consider poppers a drug. And the only thing that I am interested in that mix is poppers, which you can literally just buy at any like gay bookstore in West Hollywood or gay sex shop. And I'm like, so what exactly is K, y'all? And they're like, you've never done K? Ha 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 ha. You're such a baby. And I'm like, no, I've never done K. Like, I'm like, they're like, you don't know what it is? I'm like, I know that it's ketamine. I'm just asking, like, what are the effects?
What do it do to you?
What do it do to you? And they didn't really answer it besides them both proclaiming that they like to be in a K-hole. And I'm just like, okay, you're both impotent right now. Like, they weren't able to get hard-ons without the drugs.
Oh.
So I'm just like, Oh, is this what K is to y'all? Like, y'all can't even fuck without being fucked up?
Well, I have a question for you. I'm going to call you a baby gay since you didn't know what K did. I'm a non-gay, so explain to me what poppers are. Because I was watching one of my favorite shows, and the guy was getting fucked up on all kinds of shit. Coke, ketamine, all kinds of shit. And then this woman wanted to fuck him at a wedding, and she's like, here's some poppers. He's like, what are poppers? And I'm like, what are poppers? What are poppers?
Poppers, I guess the closest thing to them in straight culture is what whippets.
Okay, so how do you ingest a popper?
It's just inhaling.
Okay, like
no, it's like a bottle.
Okay.
And it's kind of what was it, like VHS fluid? Do you remember that? Or like or DVD fluid?
Yeah.
What is it?
I don't know what the chemical is, but I know what I know that people would used to do like computer cleaning solution. They used to do like VHS solution. Like it does that to the brain.
It does that to the brain.
Yeah.
And it basically just like creates
like nitrous oxide.
Yeah. It creates kind of this like head high.
Child, let me tell you, I thought that you were putting whippets or you were putting poppers in your booty.
No, I don't know what that would do. Because even if you spill them, it's like the scent is so fucking strong.
Okay.
It permeates an entire room.
Okay. So what does it do sexually? Like giving that head rush, why do people do it sexually?
It's like blood flow.
Oh, okay. So that explains on my show why the guy, after doing all those drugs, when he did the poppers, took the poppers, did the poppers,
Yeah.
he passed out.
Yeah.
He was like, his eyes got big and he was like, and then he passed out. So, oh, that's crazy. All right. Interesting.
But the gays and their drugs is just like, it's something that I'm glad at 29 I can say that like I'm not into that. Like I don't need that. Like I'm somebody who's so horny without anything in their system, and I want to keep it that way.
Well, my stepchild was telling me that like one of the common things you see on Grindr is like you party.
Yeah, like party and play.
Party and play, and that means drugs.
And I think that this was like kind of a party and play situation that I didn't realize I was finding myself a part of. And I kind of just like watched it unfold from the bed as they were doing their thing.
So did you participate?
Not in the drugs. And like,
but in the sex?
It was like, not really.
Pseudo participation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate, but that's really, really interesting to me that this is like a cultural thing. But obviously not everyone, who's part of a culture participates in everything in a culture. So,
yeah, I mean, drugs are just rampant in the gay community. And I think that like also I'm not a part of club culture, but like that's a whole other place that they're.
Are clubs still a thing?
Especially in Brooklyn.
Okay,
like the Charlie XCX kind of rave type situation, the basement parties, they're huge. I think they're bigger than ever.
Okay, I did see Mom Donnie at several clubs, so yeah.
It is a subculture. Like, are you a club kid?
Yeah.
It's either you're in it or you're like, there's no, like, there aren't people who are just like showing up one time. Like, I guess everyone can try it out, but like usually the club goers are dedicated.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
But there is one drug that remains coursing through my body in recent weeks.
And that is what?
The big O. Ozempic.
Oh, okay.
Except I'm quitting it this week.
Why? Wait, are you actually on Ozempic or are you on
I'm
the
on
big
tirzepatide.
T? Yeah, put some respect on tirzepatide's name. Don't look, semaglutide, it had its day.
It had its day.
But today.
But I think we know all of the GLP-1s under this idea of
not
Ozempic.
if you're a true GLP-1 stan.
Like Serena Williams.
Yes.
Who will tell you to get on Roe.
Oprah Winfrey,
who just went on CBS News and talked about how Ozempic is the only thing that has allowed her to eliminate food noise, which is really why I went on it.
And it's extremely effective for food noise.
For food noise, which if you don't know what food noise is, it's the idea that in your brain, or in your head, so much of your headspace is occupied by what are you going to eat today? What is my next meal? How many calories is this thing? I'm still hungry. What can I eat next? It never fucking ends. It's just food is on the mind, and it's maybe your driving force in life. And I can say for me, the reason why I went on Ozempic, and I've done 2 cycles of it, it's because I was coming out of depression and I was in a depression. And I will say that coming out of a depression the first time, I had gained weight and I realized that like I just wanted a quick fix. When I was in a depression recently that I'm now coming out of, I was like, the food noise is louder when I'm depressed.
Yeah, of course. I mean, your emotions are, you know, whether it's through hormones or through an imbalance of, you know, stuff in the brain, your body it's bored, it's sad, it's, you know what I mean? Like you have no direction. All of these things are going to lead you to think about food.
So now that I'm on Prozac, I'm trading that in for my Ozempic because I'm just like, there are other things that are occupying my headspace other than feeling like I need to rely on food because I'm no longer just in this like base state of depression or anxiety. And also it's like, after a while, you do just start to feel sick. Like, I hate the feeling of you just eat a little bit and then you're like, oh, I can't even think about food.
Yeah, for me, it's interesting. So for me, food noise, I don't like thinking about food. Like it's not part of my personality. I don't plan meals. I don't think about the next meal. But for me, the way food noise manifests is like standing in the door of the refrigerator, just like looking for something to eat. I'm not necessarily hungry. I'm probably not hungry, but I want to eat. Right. And so like the first time I did Ozempic, I think it was like 2023 or 24.
And you were getting your drugs from Canada.
I was getting my drugs from Canada because it was way too expensive to get here.
I go to a med spa and
but this didn't exist at that time. I was on the forefront of this. And so I went on an app and got a doctor who was dually licensed in the United States and in Canada. So could prescribe to Americans, but could get the medications in Canada. And this is when like you could get Canadian Ozempic for like $250. Like, and it was the real deal brand Novo Nordisk. It has since gone through the roof. But I lost weight effortlessly. Like I didn't feel that even little urge in the brain to eat. I would forget to eat. I could just work and do my thing, go do my errands, and I'd be like, I haven't eaten today. And
I know, it's insane. You can go the whole day essentially without eating.
Yeah.
The worst of it for me is that you can also eat unhealthy on Ozempic. I think that oftentimes you're eating more unhealthy on Ozempic because you need to be feeding your body, especially when you're working out or needing to hit like a protein goal. I can survive off of one sandwich a day, like one BLT from Potato Chips Deli. That's not what my body needs.
I think that GLP-1s are really groundbreaking in a lot of ways. I think that it's like anything else, even with regular dieting and disordered eating, right? Like we've both lost weight, gotten really, really fit without GLP-1s.
My best body was prior to Ozempic.
Same, 1000%. And at the same time, there was probably some disordered eating. At least for me, like the way I obsessed over every calorie that went into my body, I was counting my calories, I was weighing my food. And I think that that can be really helpful. But for me, I am an all or nothing person, like I've said before, and I would be obsessed. And even then I was really like, okay, when can I eat again? And how many calories can I ingest? Because I ate this many calories before. How many calories did I burn at the gym?
Food becomes mathematic.
Food is arithmetic, takes all the fun out of food. And so I think GLP-1s, they do give you the sense of like being able to eat like an array of foods without obsessing. But like with anything, it's like you have to find some moderation and you have to give your body nutrients and be really like cognizant of it.
It is really insane though, the cultural shift between we're not going to say we're on Ozempic, to Oprah going on CBS and being like, Ozempic, it changed my life. It's eradicated this food noise.
I had a friend stop talking to me when she found out I was on Ozempic.
That's insane.
At that time. And like now, I can't even like literally every regular person I know from my family
my
members too.
sister-in-law's on it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, prescribed actually for medical reasons, but
yeah, like now it's not anything. It's like, but I do see that in comments, people do think of it as like a lazy way out. And for me, it's like, it's like anything. It's like, if you want to improve your body,
your choice. Also, like, I think it's hard to criticize it. If you have no interest in it, that's fine. But if you do have interest in it, I think that like you should give it a try and see how it affects you. Chelsea Handler said another thing about it that I do agree with to some extent. Like, she just microdoses it. I mean, there's different, dosages. She's like, I just don't want to go home and pig out at night.
Yeah.
And this stops me from ever having that urge.
And I think that's fine. And I just think it's really interesting. Like you said, like it's been destigmatized so much, but it is interesting. I don't know if you watched 1,200 Pound Roommates or whatever it was called, 1,000 Pound Roommates.
Oh my God.
It is so
The one I felt like was like, stay fat.
Well, yeah, because she was
like discouraging her roommate or her best friend from really going on her health journey.
Well, and also like enabling by doing all the cooking, but also that roommate who was super, super fat was mean if she didn't get her fried sausages and her whatever.
I didn't watch it like that, but I just do think it is really crazy that there was a spinoff of I Get the Sisters, but being roommates?
Yes.
Like, you guys don't even have to be in each other's lives.
Well, what I was going to say is that in certain communities, GLP-1s are so stigmatized. The fat roommate went and told her family that she's been put on the fat shot, just like our resident calls it. And her family, like her mother was like breaking down crying, but she was like, why don't you just have the surgery? Like she'd rather her have weight loss surgery, which has so many side effects, including oftentimes the loss of your gallbladder, than to be on a GLP-1.
I know. I remember some of my mom's friends growing up got like lap band surgery. That is insane.
Yeah. Yeah. So I, of course, support you on being on it or getting off of it. And also, like, getting off of it doesn't mean you have to always be off of it.
No, like I said, I've done 2 cycles of it. If I ever want to do it again, I can do it again. I feel like I'm in a good state where I actually want to feed my body more.
Yeah.
And I'm cognizant of that. And I also do know that, like, my food noise, it's always going to be there, but it is amplified in depressive states.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm easing out of that.
Yeah.
So feel like it's time to put the Ozempic on pause.
Yeah. Better living through science.
Yeah. And while Oprah is announcing, her love of Ozempic on CBS News staffers are not in love with their workplace environment right now.
Well, just like was said on the Golden Globes, it has become CBS News where you can get your BS.
Okay, I was thinking about this. Do you think it was a self-fulfilling prophecy from Trump to call all of these places fake news? And now that is exactly what they're delivering on.
It's propaganda. Like, this is how propaganda works. When you hear something over and over and over again, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Is it Bari Weiss?
Yes.
That's how we say it?
Yeah.
Our troll in residence?
Yes.
She is running fucking CBS News, has no experience running network news.
Nope.
Which, if you watch the morning show, it's no small task.
No.
She, I think, came from having an op-ed site. Like, that is her.
She had an op-ed and a little podcast.
Girl, should we be running CBS News?
We were at least both journalists.
I worked in the NBC newsroom.
I worked in public media news for many, many years.
I
was a reporter. I was beating the street.
I was on nightly news with Lester Holt. So I know how those packages are done. Meanwhile, she's ripping packages from 60 Minutes seconds before they're set to air.
The one she tried to pull off the air, it had already aired in Canada. So we are privy to what was in the package. But yeah, I mean, to me, Bari Weiss is literally the poster child of what can happen when the media is taken over by right-wing propaganda and we just allow for it. And like we're always saying on this show, at the end of the day, when you peel back the onion of like what's at the helm of everything, it's capitalism. And the reason why Bari Weiss is able to be at the helm of this thing is because there was a merger that was happening and yada, yada, yada. And they didn't want the merger to be in peril. And so they installed Bari Weiss. Trump got his way. Trump won a lawsuit in which CBS had to pay him millions of dollars. Like, it is so insane.
It is insane. And CBS and Paramount are together, right?
Yeah.
Every time I go on Paramount Plus, I call it Republican television because I'm usually logging into Landman and I'm staking my claim on the oil fields. And I'm just like, this is so middle America coded.
Yeah. I have a subscription. I'm paying like $2 for it because I did the thing where you cancel it and they're like, but please don't leave.
Yes, I love when they hit you with, you can stay here for $2 extra for 6 months.
Yeah, so I'm on that $2 plan, but as soon as that's up, I gotta go because I cannot be supporting shenanigans.
The only reason I was on it was because I had to watch the Golden Globes.
That's right. That's right.
But now CBS is also going to fuck with Gayle King's check. Did you see that?
No, what happened?
Bari Weiss is like, Gayle's too expensive. We need to get rid of her. So that's now in the conversation.
Gayle's too black is what she is.
Well, I said to one of my friends, I was like, Gayle needs to figure out how to get Bari Weiss on the next rocket and keep that bitch in orbit.